Hi, welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the performance of a computer network. So let's look at the Hi, welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the performance of a computer network. So let's look at the agenda. We will be learning mainly about the different performance parameters that affect the performance of a computer network. So what are the different parameters that affect the performance of a computer network when data transfer takes place between two devices through the nodes of the network? Number one is number of devices of the network. The more the number of devices, the more the performance degradation happens in the network. So with the increase in the number of devices, performance decreases. Performance means data transfer rate decreases. Next comes the bandwidth. It is basically the system bandwidth. System bandwidth means what are the two different frequency levels that are being supported by the transmission medium. The highest frequency component and the lowest frequency component. The difference between these two frequency components will give the system bandwidth. Now there is another bandwidth which is known as the signal bandwidth. Signal bandwidth is the difference between the frequency components existing in the particular signal. Like it can have F1, which is the lowest frequency level, and F2, which is the highest frequency level in that particular signal. So there is a difference between the signal bandwidth and the system bandwidth. System bandwidth mainly supports the signal that passes through the system, and it can support the high frequency and the low frequency component based on the particular transmission medium. For example, we can have coaxial cable. So number of bits that are being transmitted through the transmission medium basically is the bandwidth. For coaxial cable, the number of bits that can be transmitted through the medium is 1 Gbps or 1 gigabit per second. For a fiber optic cable, we can have up to 40 terabits per second. So fiber optic cable can support many number of bits to be transmitted through it, and it is more than that of the coaxial cable. Then we can have twisted pair. Twisted pair has a data rate which is less than that of coaxial cable. After that, we can have Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi can have 54 Mbps, which is much lesser. And if you can have business Wi-Fi, then it can be roughly 1 Gbps. Now you see here for the home, we can write here the home Wi-Fi. If you have 54 Mbps, that means if there is one user, it can download or upload at the rate of 54 Mbps. Now if there are two users using the same Wi-Fi network, then this will be divided between the two users. So each one will be having 27 Mbps. Now if there are 10 devices, then it will be coming down to 5.4 Mbps. Next performance parameters is type of network traffic. Depending on the network traffic, whether you are using the video for YouTube or you are simply downloading a file using FTP, or in the video also if it is a high definition file, then it will take much higher bandwidth. And so the performance will definitely degrade and it will be the slower. The rate of the data transfer will be slower. Next is the network latency. This latency is also called the delay of the network. If we have a large number of nodes and which are connected via these links, and the data transfer between these nodes take a certain amount of time, And there are various delays like the link delay and the node processing delay. And also we can have the transmission delay. And the last point is propagation delay, where propagation delay basically means the delay of transmission of electromagnetic signals. After that, we have number of transmission errors. The more the number of errors are, the more performance degradation happens. So we must have a reliable network where transmission errors should be able to be detected and corrected by using various algorithms. So here we come to the end of this lesson. In this lesson, we have learned about the performance parameters which are used to measure the performance of a computer network. Among these, most important ones are bandwidth of the system, which basically gives us how many bits will be transmitted per second through the channel, and this channel capacity is dependent on the bandwidth as well as the signal to noise ratio. And there is a term which is called the latency or the delay of the network. The more the delay is, the lesser is the performance. Thank you.